Hello everyone, Father Daniel here. As we now celebrate the second Sunday of Advent, we look to the Gospel to get some sense of what God is doing in our midst. Now I don't know about you, but this pandemic has been somewhat of a double-edged sword. Well, of course, it brings about much heartache. It inhibits the things that we would normally take for granted, such as being able to go out with friends or go out to eat. Nevertheless, I don't know about you, but I've found some fruit come out of this strange and unusual time. And one of the main ways that I've been able to see this is in my prayer life. Now that might not sound strange coming from a Catholic priest. Well, isn't that what you guys do all the time anyways? Yeah, if only. For us parish priests like yourselves, we are filled with so many duties and distractions. Life always presents itself in various ways, and I think for the most part it's safe to say that all of us would like to spend more time on things that we hold dear. For us, that is definitely our prayer life. Not just as a priest, but for all Christians. And with the canceled plans giving us a little more time, with a little more silence because of the decreased voices of all the different distractions that usually come at us, I have found this a time to really listen to that small, still voice that is God reaching out to us. In today's gospel, we are introduced to the character of John the Baptist, an actual cousin of our blessed Lord, who was chosen to be the forerunner, who would be the one to pave the way for the coming of the Messiah, for the coming of Christ. And he's a peculiar sort of guy. He has a very rustic persona and appearance. He's maybe not who we would consider first on our list of who would come about to introduce us or anything of major importance, and yet this is who God chose. And in the midst of it, friends, in the midst of it, he reveals himself. He says, according to the tradition, listening to that first reading by Isaiah, that he is a voice crying out in the desert. A voice that, if we're honest, announcing God's presence doesn't often reach our ears when we are usually caught up with so many things, preoccupied with so many distractions, even important things that sometimes drown out the voice of God or what he's doing in our midst. And yet, as I mentioned, for me it's been a very fruitful, prayerful time. It's been a time where I'm able to focus and hone in on what God is doing in our midst. Friends, let's take advantage of this time. During this Advent season where we have no choice, at least to some degree, to turn inward to our personal prayer lives, that we take time to listen to what God is doing among us. Yes, there are the distractions. There are the valid and legitimate concerns of what we are looking to anticipate in our own lives and in our world. And yet, for all of it, God is still working there. But if only we have the ability to take time, to slow things down, part of which we've already been granted by this pandemic. And so we should take advantage to listen to what God is doing, to keep our eyes peeled, to keep aware and alert to the fact that he wants to do something new in our midst. Listen to that voice crying out in the desert, in the wilderness of your heart. That is Christ. That is reminding you of his love for you. That is reminding you of the call that he gives each one of us, and of the reason to hold on to hope. He who keeps his promises. God bless you. Happy Sabbath. And I do hope that you are able in some way to keep this day holy with you and your loved ones. God bless you.